Welcome to the third episode of Science Cities, where we will plan our first city and light industry, which I hope will keep us afloat in the early stages. I've decided to try a new video format. The first two episodes were distinct. The first was done in narrative tutorial style, while the second aimed for an original montage of planning progress with added humor. My goal is to present the game in a way that it makes it easy to follow the story and progress without boring the audience. This game is all about resource logistics, where you must manage the flow to fully meet the game's mechanics while maintaining a positive financial balance of import and export. And there's always a big question, will this project take off? So for the third episode, I'll stick with the montage format, but add live narration to share my thought process. If you enjoyed this approach, please leave a comment or like the video. Enjoy the show, let's dive in. Welcome back, guys. This game generously provides you with the time, a resource that you should absolutely use to its fullest. As the saying goes, the best is the enemy of the good, but some things are worth planning carefully in advance. However, it's easy to fall into a trap where, while focusing on the layout of a new settlement or infrastructure, you completely forget about ongoing projects. So let's start by checking the progress of our construction sites, in identifying what can be improved and ensuring everything is ready for railway launch. After all, the first freight train will kick off our first large-scale construction projects. So let's go and check that out. Alright, let's take a look at what we're missing here. Let's just unpause the game and let's see what do we need. So I've got this cold storage over here, which will be supplying both train coaling station and then rail construction office. Everything for now in terms of the coal delivery is set up. You see the trucks are coming in. Storage is not connected to the power supply, therefore none of the conveyors will work at the moment. But once I will switch on the import of electricity, it will become online and the coal will be transferred from the storage down to the coaling station. What I want to check is that construction will be going without any problems while we're going to be focusing our attention at building or planning our actually residential area. So what I'm going to need to do is just to make sure that I've got all the mechanisms that I need in order for this construction to keep going. We're in 1931 here, and I think at this stage we already have some new construction mechanisms available, and in particular I'll be looking for a crane. And we have this tower train here, tower crane here, and we're gonna need a couple of those. So let's just buy two of them. They will appear down at the customs office over here, so we will need to transport them somehow. I think I've got some open hulls over here, which are currently sitting at the construction office. Let me just check whether I have any open hulls. No, I don't. Okay, well, let's just temporarily assign this guy to the construction depot and this guy to the construction depot as well. So in order to bring something from the customs office to basically the construction yard or whenever you need it, those mechanisms that do not have its own way of basically driving, like these cranes for example, you can take them from the customs office by vehicles. Every vehicle has capacity and it's written over here, so it can load vehicles on flatbed up to 4 tons, and you need open hulls. Only they are doing this kind of transportation. So we'll create a stop from here and then to here, and we will let this guy know that he needs to pick up mechanisms over here and then unload these mechanisms. We click start and this guy should go and do its job. Yeah, he's going. And let's do the same for the second truck and also let him know that he will need to do the same objective. So once those two guys are back with the equipment that we need, we're gonna return those open hulls, reassign them back to the construction office, so that whenever the crane is possible to use, they will take that crane and deliver it to the construction yard. And in order to do so, we're gonna get, who are you? You're open hull. Okay. We're gonna click that button over here, deliver mechanisms only by these trucks. So instead of going on their own wheels if they have one, or if the mechanisms are slow, open hulls will transport them to the construction yard. Let's see, who are you? Oh yeah, there you go. So he's dropping that crane. We will catch that gentleman here, and we'll put him back to the construction office, and there must be another one coming somewhere over here. Is that you? Yeah, that's you. And he will unload this crane over here, and again assign the task. Amazing. Alright, so what now is going to be happening is that track, he's probably going to the... Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, you're going to the storage. Okay. That probably wasn't the right one. Oh, he's picking up the materials that he needs for the construction. Alright. Now, some construction yards, some buildings under construction, they do have these mechanism slots. So these slots are there for mechanisms that will help to speed up the construction. So if you click on the crane, you will see this kind of statistics for him, the performance level. Speed level 18, which means he is working as 18 workers, which obviously saves you money to import workers from the customs office, so on and so forth. Now with this out of the way, let's just click the same tick box for the rest of the construction offices, so that whatever vehicle is available will be able to pick up the cranes and deliver to the construction yards. What we also do need to do is, I was planning to do the railway loop, so that there is the turnaround for the trains, so that they can go through the depot all around here and then be able to join the main railway road, which will be coming throughout the whole territory of our republic. So let's probably do that first and take a look at what do we have. You probably noticed me liking using the grid, and the reason being is that it's my personal preference, but I do like when everything is aligned. I'm an engineer by my trade, and I've been I've been quite familiar with the drawing software like AutoCAD and stuff, so therefore this grid is something that I really enjoy. Alright, so the loop is planned. We do need to check what other resources the construction yard, the rail construction office needs. And in particular, it needs some water, it needs sewage, as well as this guy here. It also needs water. So realistically, you can set up the distribution office to deliver the water to both of these buildings. But really, don't be shy using any other tools that game gives you. And in my case, I will just be using water unload station. It makes the process of unloading water or delivering water to where it needs to be way more faster, because the truck's unloading faster at the specific loading unloading stations. So let's have a look whereabouts this unloading station is. Yeah, there we go. Water unloading and loading station. Now again, let's take a look at the grid and position this guy somewhere over here, just to allow the road to come through, so that the trucks can actually get to that point. Let's do mirror like that, and I think we can squeeze the road under this building here. So let's try and put it here. Yep, there we go. Right now I'm using just dirt roads everywhere. Going forward, I believe I will probably make some of them concrete roads, so that the delivery can go a bit faster. What do we need? Let's just continue you and see if we can get a nice turn. It's not 45 degrees. You can see down there azimuth 97 degrees, which means it's not a 90 degrees corner as I would love to have, but that's fine. This kind of turn will do for the purposes that we're pursuing over here. Also, what I noticed in 90s, 30s early start DLC is that vehicles wear and tear quite fast. I'm not sure whether there is an inbuilt durability of those vehicles that is actually lower than for the rest of the game, for like 1960s, for the vanilla version of it, but for some reason they like break way faster than they do in the original vanilla build of this game. So I'll also put the vehicle repair station over here somewhere, and the purpose of that is to be ready for when the vehicles will start breaking, basically. What's the difference in between you and you? Vehicle repair station small. Let's go with the medium one. It has 3 parking slots and stations for vehicle loading, unloading, 25 workers. Yeah, that should do it. That should do it. Yeah, this area is kind of free, so I'm not really concerned with using this space over here. Maybe I will regret it later on, but for now, let it be right over here. Now, with this one done, all we need to take care of in this particular zone is just to extend our power grid. It's really up to you to decide whether you want to have underground or surface connections, but for the immersion I do prefer to have grids, but the wires to be, especially high voltage one, to be above the surface. It kind of makes sense, and I've seen it many times in the real life. Alright, megawatts should do fine. If you want to have like equal spaces in between the towers, you just drag your connection further, and whenever the second tower or the second pillar appears, you can just go back, and that will give you the ideal separation in between the supporting towers of the electrical wires. Alright, now that's done. There is a bit of a distance here, but that's fine. There is a railroad over here and there is a road over there. Eventually we might want to connect these two, so that there is the passage from here to the construction, to the resource hub, which will be positioned over there. Okay, so how are we doing? We don't have cranes delivered steel for some reason. I'm not sure what is the problem over there. You guys are dumpers, and you are covered hole, you are concrete mixer, and who are you? You're concrete mixer as well. Okay, let's just assign you there and get a couple of open hulls. Maybe we just don't have enough trucks to deliver those cranes to where they need to be. We're looking at open hull. Let's stick with the Russo bolt over here for now and see how we go. Once it's fueled, it will park in the construction office, and then it will start picking up the crane to the construction yards. No workers, no mechanisms. Interesting. What are you missing? You're missing bricks, planks and steel. Do we have
related vehicles assigned to that construction? Yes, we do. How about you? Yeah, you're also just missing the resources. Okay.
So for this area we have not built any water infrastructure under the ground, which are pipes and pumps. So I guess I will do that right now. So we need this loading unloading water unloading station is to feed to the rail construction office and to the coaling station. We can use a very simple setup. We're gonna need a small water pump which sits right over here like that.
Now we do need a few pipes. One will go directly to the rail construction office, the other one will go to our pipe over there, and from this pipe we're gonna need a switch which will leave nearby this road over here.
We'll put it like here, and then we'll connect it with the pedestrian road over there. Nice. So this switch will feed slowly but surely our coaling station. There we go. And shall we do this? Nah, that's ugly. What about this connection here? Yeah, that looks better. That looks a little bit better. Okay. Let's give this to the construction, and you as well. Our construction offices will pick them up eventually. Let's just double check that. It's not yet assigned, but it will be. And let's also commission our water station and our vehicle service. Now we still have the bus stop station here. This bus stop will feed all the requirements from the construction office and from the vehicle repair station. So we should have easy times to deliver
customs office down to this bus stop, from where they will just spread around to where they need to be. Can probably give them a little bit of a pedestrian roads over there. And let's have a look. Do you want to connect? Yeah, you want. Oh, that's nice. Let's do the connection like so. Now let's probably make it a little bit more aligned, like that, and like that. And this road could go easy. All right. Let's just take a look. Yeah, the bus stop is within the reach of the infrastructure it needs to be able to reach, which is amazing. Let's just do final check of this area. We do need to have these guys built as well. Amazing. Alright, now the construction officers will take care of the building process on the right hand side over here, while we can focus our attention on building our first residential area. So the general plan is to have our city situated nearby our construction yard and nearby our resources. So somewhere over here there will be our first residential city. I don't know what the size of that city will be, but I presume we're gonna get something around 2.5, maybe 3,000 citizens. The capacity of the buildings in 1930s are not really high, but let's see what we can do to prepare a nice layout for that area.
So the planning of the residential district, right? The first thing that everybody should keep in mind is the size of the first city. From one hand, you need to be able to build the residential area in a way that you have enough people to supply your production, which is going to be nearby somewhere. From the other hand, you need to take into account the infrastructure which supports your residential area. To be honest, there is no golden rule or a master template to which I personally follow. Every time I have a playthrough, I try to come up with some creative idea of the city layout. And as I said earlier, I like when everything is aligned and everything looks like it's been planned. Even though if you have a complicated landscape on the map, your city can look very natural if it like hugs around a mountain or a small hill, if it sits nearby the river. But we're playing on a relatively flat map, which makes it kind of not complicated, not hard, but it makes it inconvenient to mimic a realistic city. So I'm going to be focusing on an effective layout, which will allow me to supply my light industry, which I've planned. And yeah, let's take a look at the first house here. So we have 65 workers to the best of my memory here. Where is it? Yeah, it's made out of bricks. The quality of flats is 80%. So if you've ever wondered what the quality of flats means, it is like a soft limit for your happiness, but it's not a hard limit for your happiness. Even if your quality of flats is 80%, it doesn't mean that the happiness will not go above that percentage level. So don't try to min-max really. If you want to give a go toward different, buildings which have lower quality of the flats, like 60%, you can give it a go and see for yourself. But I will go with this building first. And actually I don't think I picked up the right one. Yeah, that's not the right one. So take that away. And let's find the correct one. Is it this one here? Yeah, I think it might be this one here. Alright. What you also need to take into account is distance in between the buildings. So whenever you plan your buildings, just don't forget about the fact that there must be the garbage collection areas to be squeezed somewhere in between. And therefore just leave some space in between the buildings so that you can actually place the trash bins nearby. Talking about the grid, as you see, I'm using the grid here as well. It helps to align one building with the other, because if I'll disable it, you can see you can freely place the building wherever you need to, and you can make it high, you can make it lower, but it's probably just me, but I like when everything is aligned, planned ahead and aligned into one line. So we're gonna get this guy here, and we will leave some space, as I said earlier, in between the cities, in between the buildings like that. Again, the same somewhere over here, and the building number 4 will go right there. Alright, let's see and check for ourselves. So we're gonna get a small collection for the small garbage containers area, but as you may see, it doesn't really fit in there, so we will probably leave this one as it is, and we will place them somewhere within the reach, so that two of those buildings will be able to reach it from this side, and these buildings will be able to reach it from that side. Alright, let's move on and place a couple more buildings here of the same kind, of course. And I want to make a little bit of a walking distance in between, like a small park. So I will leave a little bit of space for the pedestrians, for the pedestrian roads right in between. And because we're using grid, you can easily position all these buildings into one line in front of each other. Now, the other condition that you need to account for is walking distance for your pedestrians, because they have some certain values for that distance. On a dirt road they go as far as 250 meters approximately. On a concrete road they go 400, and on the asphalt roads with lights they can go up to a half a kilometer, which is a very big distance for that game. But don't be stressed really about planning your city around that and try to account for everything. That's purely not possible. I've spent about 400 hours in this game, and every time I'm building a new residential area, new city, I always just try. Like I place the buildings, I connect it with the pedestrian roads, and then I see whether I can actually squeeze or whether actually pedestrians can reach those places that I want them to reach. So we will position another 2 buildings on the each end of the area, like so. And because we used grids to plan everything, the game will help me out with regards to a nice and easy to see and easy to actually build, not to see, easy to build connections like that. So I'll probably extend this road a little bit and do that nice turn, and you see it aligns into one line, which is just nice to watch, and it looks good, well, at least to my opinion. Now, as I said, I don't know how big the city will be at this stage, but I know that we will need some what they call it, state infrastructure and some residential infrastructure, schools and kindergarten and sports and entertainment and stuff like that. So for now, this is like the base layout. And as it often happens, I forgot to actually unpause the game, which I'll do right now. Let's quickly take a look at what's going on with our construction. This one is on the way, this one is on the way, this one is also on the way. It looks to me that everything is going. It is not as fast as I would like it to be, but when you do a few things in concurrently, you kind of don't have to sit and wait for something to be built and do nothing at the same time. So my schedule, it looks like I place the first blueprints of any infrastructure in the game, and then I focus my attention on doing something else. And while I'm doing something else, this first part is getting constructed. Alright, let's go back to our residential area. So we've got this basic kind of backbone of our city, which we can probably extend a little bit, because right now I've got 10 buildings. Each building can accommodate for is it 65? Yeah, 65 workers, right? So 10 by 65, it's about 650 workers. So I'll probably position a few other buildings. We've got the space here, we've got the space over here, and we've got the space over there, in order to increase the population of this particular area. So I'll go with the biggest building that we currently have in this particular year, and I'll try to align it with our vertical line over there, which game doesn't want me to do. Alright, let's see what we can do about it. I think the only thing we can do is just not using grid for this particular area, and yeah, let's try align it like that, and also the vertical line. So that should probably do it just fine. Okay, move it to the left a little bit, and it looks like it aligned. One here, and the other one will also align with our building over there, which will give us enough space in between those two long buildings in order to position our garbage collection area, something like that. Do they sit in line? Yeah, more or less, more or less. Maybe I can move this one slightly to the front. So this line over there, and yeah, that's better. All right, let's take a look whether we can squeeze the garbage container in between. And yes, we can. There's enough space. All right. Let's put some pedestrian paths as well, so that we give our citizen an opportunity to walk back and forward. I'm gonna enable stick to the grid once again, and we'll probably take that route to somewhere over here just for now. And on the other side of this district we'll get another pedestrian path. I want an entrance to my residential area, so I'll probably go and plan a road which will be going, yes, straight line like that. You can always change that later, but for now this road looks to me okay-ish. Yeah, don't worry about the grid too much. I know it might not be very pleasing to watch on the screen when the grid is always enabled, but hey, when everything is built, it looks amazing. It looks natural, it looks beautiful, and it's just pleasant to watch. And one of my playthroughs, I didn't pay attention to how the buildings align, and when everything was built, it bugged me very, very much, so I regretted not paying too much attention. But as I said, it's just a preference of the personal taste, right? Okay, let's connect those things here with our building here. Can we do that? There we go. Let's do that, and let's also do that. Again, because it's grid-based positioning, you see that the roads are easily possible to connect, and you know, they're straight, which is again just a small hint or piece of advice, if you like, if you want to have everything aligned. It takes a bit more time than normal, but at the same time it gives the result I wanted to give. Alright, so we're gonna take probably that one here and place it like so, and we'll do the same with this entrance here. Right, okay. Yeah, these buildings need a connection to the road as well. I'm sure you guys know that when you have this situation like I'm having at the moment, and the pedestrian path or any other road doesn't want to connect in a straight line, you can do the following. You can remove the part of the road that you want your other road to be connected, and then you can create a node like that, and after that your road will be connected at 90 degrees as you want it to do. I'm not sure whether I'll leave my adjustments in the video or I'll just cut it out, but for now I'll just do this particular trick just to have everything in a straight line. Alright, there we go, the last one here, like that. Connect the road again, and then that should do it. As I said, it might be a little bit, you know, tidy to do like so, but when it's done like that, you will enjoy the result at the end. Alright, okay, sweet. So now what are we gonna need for this area apart from the buildings is probably more buildings, because This one is 165. It was, just let me take a look. Yeah, 145. So let's just take the distance. So it's 200 meters to the farthest building and 246 meters to the farthest building. And we know that the pedestrian can walk up to 450 or 400 or 450 or so on the concrete roads. So we've got some space on the opposite side of the road, which I'm going to utilize to build a couple more buildings over there. Again, let's go with pedestrian parallel road. Why I'm doing so, the game doesn't really tell you the walking distance if there is no connection paths, even though the pedestrians will walk, but for the planning purposes you will never know whether they're actually able to reach unless you just, you know, do the approximate calculation of the distance. Alright, so on this side of the road I'm gonna need something in between those 65s and 145s. We're gonna go with probably something like that and see if we can position this in a way that it aligns with the buildings on the left. Can I do that? Yeah, I think I can, which is good. So there is one. Again, we'll leave a little bit of space in between. That's gonna be number 2, and this will be number 3. Do I want to leave a little bit more space over here? Nah, that should do it. Okay. If you don't need the roads to be the pedestrian paths to be connected to the main road, like the game suggests now, you just press Control and it takes away those connections. So kill you, and we will add a couple more, like that, and then one over here. All right. So because there is the crossing through that road in the middle of the city, you can now see that the buildings are in reach. If I take away that connection over there, the game will show you that this building is not within the reach with this building, which is a little bit confusing, but you know, that's how the game works. There isn't much you can do about it. Alright, so on the other side, on this city, I want to do also something similar. So let's go ahead and put road over here and over here, and that is kind of the layout that is panning out. Let me see if this building is actually yeah, I think those buildings might be a little bit too far away. I don't want to risk and then rebuild everything later on, so I'll probably take both of these buildings down and I'll position them a little bit closer, because I'm slightly nervous that they might be too far away. So roughly over here should be just absolutely fine. One and another one over there. Like so. Again, let's check if we can squeeze the stand for small containers. Yes, we can, which makes me think we actually did everything okay. All right,
let's again take a look at the construction process. There we go. We've got rail construction office completed. We've got aggregate storage filling in with coal. We are still waiting for water loading station to be built. The pipes are on the way and the repair station is also on the way. That's great. Oh, and they actually have taken cranes from the construction offices. Whereabouts they are? Are they here? No, they're not. Where are the cranes? Whatever. They took those cranes somewhere. I'm not too sure where exactly, but they're probably sitting somewhere. Okay, sweet. So this is going well. We still have relatively nice budget left to build the rest of the infrastructure. As you may have noticed, I do not put any infrastructure to the residential area yet, and I just prefer to plan the city first and then equip it with whatever is required: sewage, water, electricity, and so on and so forth. Now, like, from my experience, it's really hard to build a realistic residential area without using any mods, and I don't use any mods in this playthrough. As you see, achievements are available for this playthrough. There's somewhat of a challenge that I decided to do for myself, but yeah, if you want to build a realistic city, there are mods that allows you to position the buildings the way you like, the different designs of the buildings. So there are opportunities that the great mod community actually provides to this game, which is good. I think modders are doing just an extremely nice work, not just for workers and resources, but for many other games which are eligible for the mods. Now, I want to place something behind that building over there, and I'm thinking about putting the our headquarters of the party. So we're gonna take a look whether it will be symmetrical, and I think it is. Yeah, we'll probably leave it like that, and then we'll connect it to the pedestrian paths over there, something like that, for example, and like that. And let's just have a look whether we can reach. Yeah, as you can see, let me just zoom out and take off the grid. As you can see, even this building is within the walking distance to the party headquarters. What that means is that you don't need the transportation system at this stage of the game. So if you plan thoroughly your city layout, you will be able to supply your industrial buildings, your infrastructural buildings with the workers, which is nice, because to not be able to deliver your workers to the places you need at the beginning is very frustrating, and I prefer to plan the layout in a way that I don't need any buses at this stage, though there will be a bus station somewhere, probably here or here. I haven't decided on that yet. Alright, let me do a quick break and I'll see you in just a second. What we also need to do is we need to place some residential infrastructure, and this includes emergencies, children, and some bus stop. So because we were not really greedy with the positioning of the buildings, we've got some spaces over here and over here, and I think I'm gonna occupy those spaces with a kindergarten. Let's do the kindergarten first. Let's enable our grid once again and see whether we want it here. So probably align it a little bit with the building, like so, and it's done. Let's just connect it with the pedestrian path. Shall we take this one instead?
Oops. That was not what I was going to do. Alright, let's probably take that down and position it once again. I just want the pedestrian road to be straight, and I don't want to rebuild the one that we've already positioned. So something like that should suffice. Let's give it a go. Yep. And we need to connect kindergarten to the rest of the layout, because otherwise they won't be able to reach. Well, they will be able to, but you know, they're gonna take a longer loop around, which is not ideal. So I'm gonna connect it like so, and as well as like so. Looks like a straight line to me. Let's take a look. This is the farthest building that we have, and it is within the reach of kindergarten. Amazing. So on the other side of the city, we're going to position another essential, which is school. Honestly, I'm not really inclined to place the big school for 300 students. To me, it looks like too much. I would rather build another one if I need to. So I'll go with 120 students, and I'll position this school on the other side of the district, somewhere over here, which also should be absolutely fine. Let's move it a little bit closer, like that. There we go. And also connect school with pedestrian road and see if we are able to reach it by walking distance. And yes, we are. So see, from one hand I said it's very hard to plan everything ahead, but pedestrian areas are the most important ones, because that's kind of your main transfer routes for your workers, because you see the whole all the buildings over there are able to reach the school, which is amazing. And same goes for the kindergarten. Now we do need to put a clinic, and I'm kind of looking at this area on the right for the clinic as well. So we go with small clinic at this stage. I will probably mirror it like that and see if we can position the clinic nearby the school. Now I will align it with the grid vertical line so that the pedestrian crossing will be connected. Let's take a look. Right here and right here. And let's take the pedestrian one. Like that. Now let's take a look. It is within the reach of some buildings, and for some reason it is not within the reach of the others. Alright, that pretty much means that our school is a little bit, sorry, not school, but our small clinic is a little bit far away from some of those buildings, or some of the buildings are just not connected. So let's just quickly do connections of those buildings. And this should probably enable the reach, right? So we can, these guys can go there, these guys can go there. What if we do this, for example? Okay, so now everyone can walk. Yeah, because I didn't have that path, the pathing hint doesn't actually show you the real information. I'm pretty sure these guys would have been able to walk to that clinic, but let's just stay on the safe side and leave an additional opportunity for our citizens to walk. Alright, so we did essentials, which is kindergarten, school, clinic. Our workers Also like to do some sports. I'm usually going with indoor pool as in vanilla game. I find it very useful and very productive as a building. I'm not sure whether I want to put it over here. I'm kind of tempted to occupy this area a little bit more because I don't want to leave that much space for nothing. So I will take this road out, and I will connect this road like so, and behind that residential building we will mirror what we did on the right hand side, but with another facility, and this facility will be most likely cinema. Where is the cinema? There we go. House of Culture, cinema. Cinema is for 100 visitors, which is 3 times more than House of Culture, and it requires the same amount of workers. More resources though, but the same amount of workers, which kind of makes it no-brainer to position it. And again, I think it looks like we can place the cinema right there, and it will look quite symmetrical as well. So let's do that. There we go. Now let's do the check. Everybody can walk to the cinema. That's good. And let's do our pool somewhere over here. We go to sports, indoor pool, and while we're positioning, we can already see whether everyone can reach it, and it looks like that everyone can reach it. So pool, you now live in this area. All right. The only thing that we probably need to add in terms of the essential infrastructure is the bus station. Because I'm planning to have my light industry on this side of the road, I want all residents from residential area to be able to actually go over the road, cross the road, and go to work by walking, not by driving or not through the bus station. So the bus station, when positioned anywhere really, as long as it is within the reach of your workers, the bus station will extend the traveling path. So what happens is that pedestrians will come to bus station. They will wait for a certain amount of time. I think it's in 4 to 6 hours, the game hours, not the real hours, of course. And if during that period they have the way to reach to the place of the destination, and it could be anything, work, entertainment, or clinic, whatever, they will take that opportunity. So basically they will travel to the bus stop, then they will switch on their radar, if you like, and if there is another building that they were trying to reach is within the range, then they will walk from that bus station another maximum distance, walking distance, to reach to where they need to be. So my thinking is that I'm gonna position the bus stop somewhere over here, which should be more than enough for even forest building over there to reach it. So the population size is going to be a few thousands, and I'm going to need quite a lot of workers. So I'm going to go with a relatively big bus platform, which will be definitely not 800 workers, but at least 600, because once this city will start to expand, whatever direction it will be, I'm thinking it will be this direction, somewhere over here, or maybe this direction. The bus stop will always be in the middle of that city, which makes it way easier in terms of the workers' workflow. So we're gonna place it somewhere over here. Let's just try to align with the other building. So actually we can just place it like probably so, but a little bit closer, like that. Maybe it is too close, maybe it is not. Alright, for now, like that should be okay. Let's just check whether we can connect. Yes, we can. Let's probably extend that pedestrian path to the left. Let's make another connection. Come on, game. No? Okay. Still no. Alright. Alright. That should do it. Okay, and now let's have a look if everyone can walk to the bus station. Yes, everyone can walk, even these guys cannot walk to that distance. That is probably because we don't have the connection over there, which we will make right now. How about now? Cool. Everybody can reach the bus station. That's amazing. Alright, on the left hand side we have a little spot here, and I'm thinking about the fire station. It is somewhat ideal spot, if you ask me, because it will have direct connection to the main road over there, and this fire station will allow the firefighters to reach to whatever over here, and whatever over here, and whatever over there. Let's just take a look and see what options we have. It's an emergency, and it's over here. So fire station, 5 tracks, 30 workers. Alright. And actually, before doing so, we need to make sure we have space for our bus station exit, because it's the drive-through station. So we'll leave the road over here so that we can place the fire station and account for bus stop. Small one, yeah. Let's put the big one. Yeah, it somewhat fits nice in this area, and we are actually able to connect it with our main road over there. Right. And pedestrian path right over there. Alright, thank you, game. At least something went as planned with regards to the road layout. Alright, so overall, what do we have here? We have relatively middle-sized city, which has 10 buildings here, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, which is okay. The main thing that we're missing for that city to actually thrive is the supermarket, and we're gonna work on that straight away. After we finish with the supermarket setup, we will start planning our light industry. Alright, we'll be back. While I was thinking about the roads for bus stop, I forgot to actually extend the road for the small clinic, because small clinic does require an exit so that the cars can drive around and pick up the patients. So what I'm thinking is I will make some sort of a ring road around this residential district, and let's just do it in a simple way. Something like that should do just fine. I just don't want to waste that area over there, and I thought maybe a ring road would be a nice option to have. Let's do it straight to here. I don't really have anything planned for this area, So I'll put the road as close as possible to the buildings on the back. And then let's see if the game will let me connect it. Yeah, sweet. Now let's do similar thing on the back of that building. Let's probably shorten it a little bit and then make a nice turn over here. Can we do it closer? No, we can. We cannot. And you now don't wanna let me. Okay. So whenever the game doesn't like what you're doing, you can do it the other way around and place the road where you want it to be, and then just connect it like so. And our clinic as well will get its own road access. How about that? No. Alright. Let's quickly fix that. And 1, 2. Where do I want it to be connected? I want it to be connected here, so let's do it once again. How about now? Yeah, that should do it. Sweet. Now this road can be connected directly to this road, which is good enough for us. The other thing that I actually made a note for myself to remember is to undo this tick box here. This is a very common mistake. I did it so many times and I had to reload and replay a few playthroughs because once you have this box ticked, once the building is finished, you will get citizens immediately, but your city may not be ready for it. I would say it's never ready. So just untick all these boxes for residential buildings that you've already built, and your workers will not move in once you finish the construction of this building. Yeah, some say newbie mistake, but you can't remember everything. I sometimes do make a note for myself for a playthrough, so that I do not forget to do certain things. And now when we select the new building, for example, we will get this one ticked off, and from now going forward, every building that I position will not allow citizens to move in, which is what we want, at least at the planning stage of the game. Later on, it doesn't really matter because you have all the infrastructure already built. Alright, let's go to our supermarket, shall we? Alright, so we know that all of our citizens in this area are able to reach the bus station, right? So this will allow us to place the supermarket in a way that it needs to be reachable by the bus station, and this will secure the fact that all the citizens will be able to go to the supermarket by just walking there. Let's do the pedestrian area, pedestrian path over here, like so. And then let's place our supermarket. I know that electronics, for example, that these are not required until 1950s, but believe me, the time will fly very, very fast, and we will soon need the electronics as a part of the citizens' requirement. So I'll just plan ahead and I'll build a small shopping center which has the storage for the electronics. And this guy will go somewhere here. I think it's an okay spot. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, that should do it just fine. Right. Now our small shopping center will be connected to a storage. My idea is that I will use that storage later on as a resource hub for nearby city, whatever that city will be. Instead of taking the goods from the customs, as I will be doing now, I'm gonna bring my trucks, delivery trucks, to this warehouse because it has very, very big capacity, like 300, 280, 200 tons of food, 140 ton of electronics, and 200 tons of clothes. That's huge. It's really, really huge. So there is no reason for me to not reuse that as a resource hub for a nearby future city. Alright, let's put it somewhere over here. And we also need the meat storage. Meat storage, I would love to have the small capacity of meat storage, because this one, the only available one, has 75 tons. But again, I mean, thinking about the future, something tells me that we will probably be able to utilize that storage somewhere over here. So I want this road to be to the right hand side, something like that, and you will see why in just a second. So normally you would assign the distribution office to delivery something to the warehouse and something to the meat storage, but there is like a little bit better way of doing so, and this way is through the cargo station. Even if you go with like tiny cargo station, which has spots for 2 vehicles for load and unload, it will still be way more efficient and faster rather than delivering to the multiple places by the distribution office. And distribution offices are not really doing a great job in terms of delivery of the food and meat and stuff, because supermarket itself has a very limited capacity, and they will be, you know, traveling, taking 0.5 of a ton of something, whereas it's not really cost-effective exercise by any stretch of imagination. So instead of that, they will be going to the cargo load unload station, and they will be dump everything into warehouse and meat storage by just unloading at the station, which is more effective. All right, you will sit here, and now we're gonna connect everything. Probably not everything, but let me see if I can squeeze that road to avoid extra crossings. If I take you down, will I be able to put that road through? Yeah, that's good. That's amazing. Okay, it's not gonna be straight line, I'm afraid. Well, almost straight line. So knowing the game, we will leave space, one node here, one node somewhere over here, and all right, and a little bit of a turn somewhere here. Nah, this will not do. Alright, let's quickly change the positioning of our warehouse. So we need it to be a little bit lower. Let's make that happen. There's you. And I think I've mirrored it. Yep. Something like that. Yeah. We missed just a little, but that's fine. And now we should be able to put our straight road to connect it to the main one. One, two, and 3. So we've got the loop for the bus, and we've got the connection for cars over there somewhere. Right. Road depot. You can pretty much go somewhere over here. Road cargo station, excuse me. Let's align it better. Great. So what we've done now here is we secured our need supply through very efficient way of distributing the goods from the customs to where it needs to be stored. Back to our light industry. So what's going to be our backbone of our economy for the first, probably couple of years is the food factory and the clothing factory. My thinking is that both of them will be situated over here, and they will be within the reach for the citizens that live here through this bus station over there. So what we're going to need to do is just to extend our main road slightly down to this direction, and then take a look at our measuring tool to see how far we can place our production industry. So this is the closest one, and this is the 250 meters mark or so. So why 250 meters? The answer is simple. You've probably seen some guides if you played this game that the industry has an effect which is called pollution. Pollution makes your citizens sick. If they're sick, they are not working, they are not happy, and they overflow your facilities which look after their health, which is the small clinics and hospitals. Now, in order to avoid pollution to be enriched with your residential area, you just keep in mind the simple rule that the pollution emission, which you can see on the screen, it is represented via the clouds, and those clouds do have a conversion to the distance. So one cloud is roughly 250 meters. So we've measured 250 meters from here to here, and that's kind of the distance, the minimal distance that we can place our food factory in correlation to the closest residential building. Now, I'm thinking that I'm gonna make a pedestrian overpath over here, just so that the pedestrians won't have to actually cross the main road. I don't want them to stop the traffic flow. So let's go and see what options we do have for the crossing. So there's the steel overpass, which costs a little bit of resources, but I think it may work for us in this area just fine. So place it here and see how we go. Alright, it doesn't want to be placed very close to the road, which is okay. Let's just then put it somewhere over here and see if we can then connect it through the road. Yeah, that looks alright. Okay, pedestrian path on the other side of the road, connect it like so, and put it right there. Does it look straight? It looks somewhat straight. Alright, so just for the sake of the immersion and to make it look like it is like a closed area and a closed city where there is no easy access neither to the city itself, neither to the productions that are situated over there, kind of follow to the narrative of the story of the science cities, I'm gonna place a fence gate in front of the entrance, which will add a very, very nice detail to the design of that area, believe me. And we will do exactly the same, but for our pedestrian guys. And I think it's gonna be fence gate. This will do. And we will need to offset it slightly so that it doesn't intersect with our other checkpoint. Let's make it here. And then we'll place fence like that and connect our pedestrian checkpoint. Wrong road with the gate. So from the entrance it will look like there is a checkpoint for the cars and there is the checkpoint for our pedestrians. Now with this done, let's position our industry itself. So I was talking about the food factory. Now food, if you look at the global market prices, let's just pause for a second and open up the tab which shows the prices. Food on its own is not really expensive to sell. We buy it for 55, we sell it for 50. However, it's very easy to produce as long as you have crops and the production of the building is relatively high. So you will be able to produce quite a lot of food. On the other hand, we're going to have a clothing factory and clothes are very, very expensive and can be very, very helpful at the early stages of the game. The reason being, it's easy to produce. The factory itself doesn't really require that many workers, and we will be able to supply with both food and clothes our republic, which will again slightly help us with our budget, which is leaking down at this stage. And we actually haven't built the residential area, we haven't yet built our resource hub, so you need to plan ahead a little bit with regards to what industry you're going to be using as your first, like a help stick, if you like, for your economy. Now let's take a look where the mark is. So this is 250 meters, and let's just place the road somewhere here. I don't want to unpause the game. The reason being is that on, I think, the 21st of or 23rd of November, the snow will start falling and it will be extremely unpleasant to watch. I don't know what shades of white the developers were using while they were you know, creating this game, but to me it's just a no-go. There will be some snowy landscapes, don't worry. My settings for the game suggest that there will be winter, there will be heating plants and stuff, but for the planning purposes I decided not to include that, at least for this episode. We will see how we go going forward. Now, food factory, whereabouts are you? There we go. So food factory we will place somewhere over there, and yeah, that is probably okay-ish. And let's just take a look and select our road and see if we can actually reach the bus station. We can't reach the bus station so far because we haven't connected pedestrian road, so let's do that.
And we are able to reach our bus station.
So I decided to adjust the positioning of the food factory just slightly. I moved it closer to the 250 meters mark. It used to be just over here. I moved it slightly closer to the city and realigned the footpath for the pedestrians just a little bit. All right, moving on. So we've got a food factory on the left hand side and we need a clothing factory on the right hand side. So let's position this factory right next to the other one, so that whoever will be coming to work, they will be able to join any of those productions. And this looks like a nice area. Let's just extend, probably the wrong word, not extend, but let's put the pedestrian connection and select the storage. So both factories will be supplied by the storage, and for storage we need a big warehouse, something like that one. And this particular one has rail connection, as you can see. The reason being is that I want trains to supply any materials that we need for both productions from the customs to that storage. Actually, let's go with a even bigger one. Yeah, now it should do better. All right, so this storage will be positioned just right behind those two factories. Unfortunately, I can't align both conveyor or forklift pathways to be perfectly fine, but that's all right. I'll survive. All right, put them back. Extend our road, which is gonna be main road. I'll leave it just over here, and we'll see how it will look like afterwards when it's built. All right, let me tweak that road a little bit. The game doesn't want me to have straight lines today, but that's fine. When you play workers and resources, you have to kind of deal with the fact that sometimes something will not be straight. Sometimes something will be ugly. All right, what else do we need? We need a heating plant, and I want the road to be somewhere on this side. Now, let's wrap around our factory with the road like so. And connect our clothing factory. One, two, three. Great. So the city will need to be heated up somehow, right? So we're gonna go and place our heating plants right in the industrial area. Pollution-wise, it has even smaller pollution than the food manufacturing plants, and we're gonna build a small heating plant. I don't think we're gonna need more than this particular plant can produce. In particular 30 gigajoules of heat, but if we need to, we will just build another small heating plant somewhere nearby or on the other side of the city. As you can see, it doesn't cover all the buildings. Let me just zoom out. So if I place it here, it doesn't cover all the buildings, so we're gonna need to put the heat pumping station as well as the heat exchanger, which will be sitting somewhere on the other side. But that will be when we're gonna cover the part of the infrastructure, of all the infrastructure for this particular playthrough. All right, that should be good enough. And let's have a look at our pedestrian routes here. You can probably go in a straight line. Yep. And can we connect it here? No, we can't. But that should do it. All right, let's take a look. So we are in range of bus stop, which is here. Heating plant is also in range. What about clothing? It's also in range. Now for the rails are on this side, as far as I remember. Yep. So the rail is going to be situated somewhere over there, and train will bring all the resources that all productions need to this area, and vice versa. It will pick up everything that both factories will produce back to the customs. When we will get the research headquarters to research train distribution office, the whole logistics will become very, very easy to manage. But for now, just one train which will be supplying crops and whatever is needed for both of these factories should be more than enough. I forgot, I think, the road for our food plant. Let's do that. Do you want to connect? No, you don't want to connect, but that's fine. We will make you connect anyway. Like so. Take that away and a little bit more. And this area is completed. Now, when we will get our citizens rich enough to buy their cars, I'm gonna place a few parking slots for the top level management of the factories, like it used to be in the real life. So probably one here, one here. Or if we decide to extend our production facilities with, for example, meat industry, there is a room here, there is a room there. So going back to the plan of your city, going back to the design of the city, you can see that the first industry which you will rely on for your economy needs to be positioned ideally close enough to the city so that the workers can actually go and work there without the need to be transported. Now for this area, we're gonna cover what we will be doing in particular in the next episode. Depends on how this format will be accepted by the audience, by the YouTube algorithm. I know there are very many playthrough videos on the internet, but I thought I will give it a go. I'll see how people react to that video. If you like the format, please consider dropping me a like, putting the comment, putting the feedback. If you don't like, if you feel it to be boring, if you feel it not to be engaging enough, I am very, very resistant to any critique, so don't be stressed and put the real feedback. After all, I'm just doing content. I enjoy what I'm doing, but at the same time, I would love this content to be as exciting, as good as it is for me. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I see you on the next week. Goodbye.